This video is all about transposing instruments. Last semester, we took a look at Mozart's Clarinet Concerto in A major as part of our final exam materials. And in the directions, I told you to ignore the clarinet line because it was playing the same pitches as the top line of the piano. Well, how did I know that? I knew that because the clarinet is a transposing instrument, and I was able to figure out what the sounding pitch was that the clarinet was playing in each case. So in this video, we're going to figure out a simple way to know what pitch is sounding when a transposing instrument plays a given pitch. Now, this concept may be foreign to some of us who don't play transposing instruments, but it's true. Sometimes we actually notate an instrument's line, but when it plays that line, it doesn't. But it's true, sometimes a notated line for an instrument doesn't actually sound the pitches that that instrument is playing. And we do that for issues of range. So for instance, if we don't want to write a lot of ledger lines for a particular instrument, we might notate that instrument so that its middle register is more on the staff than off the staff. Or for instance, if we want to make it easier for some performers to switch between instruments in a given family. So for instance, a saxophone player will read all treble clef, but some instruments actually sound in the bass clef register. And it just makes it easier for a performer to switch between the saxophones if they're consistently reading treble clef every time. They don't have to keep switching clefs. So before we go any further, let's take a listen to this excerpt and then do a little bit of analysis, and then we'll figure out how do we know what instrument is, or rather what note is sounding given the notated line of an instrument. So here we'll take a listen. Okay, and our analysis last semester went something like this. We knew this was an A major. It started with a 1 chord. Then we went 2-6, 2-6, 2-6. Cadential 6-4, 5-3. Okay, and again, I told you that the clarinet's line sounded as the top line of the piano. So let's take a look at the relationships between these pitches. First of all, if I hadn't told you it was a transposing line, you could tell because this doesn't make a proper chord, right? We know this is an A major, given the piano's key signature here, and the piano is clearly playing an A major chord, A, C sharp, E, so a 1 chord, but G doesn't fit into that line. So I know that that G is not the actual pitch the clarinet is playing. I also know that it's transposing because it tells me in the score, clarinetto principale in A. So the in A part tells me that this clarinet is not playing the sounding note, or that the score is not notated at sounding pitch. Okay. So how do I get to sounding pitch? Well, this G is actually sounded as an E, okay, in the top line. And if I just scoot over here to the end, I'll do a couple pitches at the end too. This C sounds as an A, and this B sounds as a G sharp. Notice the key signature, we got a G sharp here. So what's the relationship between these pitches? Well, G down to E is a minor third. C down to A is also a minor third. And B down to G sharp is also a minor third. That means if I want to know what the sounding pitch is of a given notated pitch for the clarinet in A, I just need to transpose down a minor third. We can use that rule to generalize about how to get a sounding pitch from a notated pitch. So when a transposing instrument plays a C, it hears its name. That's the rule that you need to remember to figure out how to get to a heard pitch from a notated pitch. When a transposing instrument plays a C, it hears its name. So for the clarinet in A, it's playing, or another way to say this is it sees the note C on the staff, and when it plays that C, it hears an A. So let's say I wanted to know when the clarinet sees a B flat on the score or plays a B flat, what note will the audience hear? Well, I know that C down to A is a minor third, so I'm going to transpose this B flat down a minor third to get the heard pitch. So B flat down a minor third is G, and therefore I know that the clarinet is actually producing the pitch G, even though what it's seeing is a B flat. Okay, let's try another example with the horn in F. Okay, so let's say I want to know what the heard pitch will be when the horn plays a G sharp. Okay, so the first step here is going to be to put my G sharp in the second box over here. And then I need to figure out how to transpose that G sharp. Well, to do that, I'm going to use my rule up here. When a transposing instrument plays a C, it hears its name. So let's say that the horn is playing a C. It's going to hear its name, which is F. Okay, so it hears an F. Then I need to figure out the relationship between C and F. Well, C down to F is a perfect fifth. So that means in order to figure out what note I'll hear when the horn plays a G sharp, I need to go down a perfect fifth. G sharp down a perfect fifth is C sharp. So a notated G sharp actually sounds as a C sharp when the horn in F plays it. Let me let you try this next one on your own. So the trumpet in B flat. I'd like to know what note I'll hear when the trumpet in B flat plays, let's say, an A flat. When the trumpet in B flat plays an A flat, what note will I hear? Why don't you pause the video now and figure this out, and then after you've figured it out, unpause it and I'll walk you through it. Okay, so the first step here is to put our A flat in the second box. And then our second step is to figure out the interval of transposition. So when a trumpet plays a B flat, or rather, sorry, when a trumpet plays a C, it hears its name, which is B flat. Right, there's our B flat. So a trumpet plays a C, it hears a B flat. Well, C down to B flat is a major second, so that's my interval of transposition. So that means to figure out the heard pitch, when the notated pitch is A flat, I need to go down a major second. Down a major second from A flat is G flat. So that means when the trumpet sees an A flat, it's going to produce a B flat as a heard pitch. We can also use this chart to go the other way. So let's say that I'm given a line. Let's say that I'd like the alto saxophones. I'm arranging a piece for band, and I don't have an alto saxophone part for some reason. And for whatever reason, I would like the alto saxophone to double the flute line, which would be a very strange choice, but let's say that that's what I want to have happen. The flute is a C instrument, so that means that I'm going to need to transpose all of the flute's notes so that the alto saxophone will produce the same pitch class. So let's say that the flute, my C instrument, is playing a D sharp, and I would like the alto saxophone to also play that D sharp. Well, this time, my heard pitch is a D sharp, and I need to know what goes up here. I can still use this chart, so the rule still applies that when an alto saxophone plays a C, it hears its name, which is E flat. Just this time, I'm going up in the chart rather than down. Okay, so E flat up to C is a major sixth. So that means I'm going to go up a major sixth to get the note that the alto saxophone is actually going to play. So up a major sixth from D sharp is B sharp. So I want my alto saxophone to play a B sharp so that I can hear a D sharp. Now, you might notice that in these top three, when I was going from the top row to the bottom row, I always went down. So for instance, B flat went down a minor third to G. G sharp went down a perfect fifth to C sharp, and A flat went down a major second to G flat. And in general, that's the direction that we want to transpose. Most instruments transpose down, okay? There are a couple exceptions to this. For instance, the D and E flat clarinet transpose up, and the D and E flat trumpet transpose up. We actually don't need to worry about what direction to transpose. What I really want you to know is what is the letter name of the pitch that the instrument is playing. Okay, but I do want to make you aware that this method is not giving you the register in which an instrument is playing. Okay, it's not giving you like when an instrument plays a C4, will the clarinet in A be playing an A4 or an A5? It's not giving you that. It's just giving you the letter name that the instrument is playing. And for our purposes, that's what we need to know. Okay. I also want to make you aware that some instruments actually transpose up an octave. So, for instance, the piccolo actually sounds notes that are an octave higher than those that are notated. Okay, so that's transposing instruments. Try your worksheet and let me know if you have any questions in class.